Welcome to the Falkland Islands race. I wasn't planning on doing the whole of this, but I thought I'd come and capture the beginning. After a while, I just stayed for the long haul. Anyway, it was a battle of north and south routes, and I was a bit of a wrecking ball in this beginning, mainly because there was so many people camped on the line. Anyway, I'm not going to criticize them. It's just something that happened. So here we go, and I'm trying to go around the back of this guy here. He comes back, wave pushes him back into me. Sails everywhere. Some guys, yeah, try to go through the front. Well, sorry about that, yellow guy. And I'm heading on a starboard tack. And heading towards the line, and it's 5 seconds, 4 seconds. I make a really steep turn and pull it off, but I go a little bit too far. Oops. Anyway, I'm the first across the line officially, which was pretty amazing. Anyway, off we go. So I've decided on going on a southern route. Not that I've done any research about this at all. I'm not going to make that an overly common excuse in this video, but yeah, bad me. Was on a jib for the start, and then needed to take that down straight away and go straight to a code O, which I did as quickly as possible. And here it comes, up it comes, and off I go on a beam reach. Lovely. Just a little bit of hooking up and getting everything in shipshape order. I kid you not, I came like 4 minutes before the beginning of this race. Main traveler, get that right. Okay, do I have a gratuitous shot of the fleet behind me? I hope I do. Here it comes. Oh, and some lovely, lovely boats. There was a lot of people in this race, and most of them stayed. I think there was only a couple of DNFs. And yeah, I think, or I hope that most people actually enjoyed it. This was the largest turnout I've ever seen. Well, a little bit later on, and you can see that I'm actually just now dragging my waypoints along. Just a general look at this stage. I'm still not into this race, just thinking to myself, well, I'll just stay offline and let it run. And about 7 minutes into the race, Practical Tangent sends me a message that he's gone in an opposite direction, and I'm just replying to him here. It's at this stage that I think, am I in this race or not? You know, once you get into a race, hard to drop out. It's hard to quit. And then I decided to look at the weather, and I start at 3 a.m. local time, but you need to have about 3 hours of added onto this. So that's what I've done. I've added 3 hours for the weather to sort of catch up. And if you look at this, and you can do this slowly if you want to, I'm going to do more analysis on it later, you can sort of see what point of sail each will have. And it looks good in the beginning, but then at the end, not as good for the Southerners. Anyway, here we are after a bit of a sleep, and I've come back, 7 hours later, and 6 or 7 hours later, and I'm just checking the leaderboards. See that the northern guys are definitely leading. Trails of Chaos, Practical Tangent, and the rest are doing well. And then 12 hours into the race, coming around this turn, Moggy had been in front of me for a little bit. I had to Kodo him while he was asleep and got past him. Dazzer and Hyance were also in the mix. And at the moment you can see that it looks still pretty close, but I'm still in 5th even though I'm leading the Southern Charge. Not much chance of catching up at this stage, but got to be a fighter and hope that maybe the wind will get better. Of course, if I'd actually looked at the weather map on windy before this race, I would have seen that it's not going to. Anyway, beautiful moonlit night out in the Falklands. There was a storm that had just come through, obviously. The waves are not too bad. And just looking at where we are. Another quick check of the leaderboard. The 15-hour mark, and I must be getting reasonably close to the point over here where I need to turn a little bit from a westerly to an easterly or northeasterly, and you can see that my Jenica is up. I'm doing 140 something TWA, which is not too bad, but obviously as I get towards turning up, that TWA angle is going to go up into the 160s, and therefore, as this shot shows, I did a little bit of creative jibing, just trying to get a little bit more angle. Problem for me was the wind was also following me. So as much as I kept on trying to get it north, it was to not much effect. Sunrise here. Sunrise seemed to be a little bit off in the Falklands. I did check the time on Google. Maybe it was because I was a little bit more southern than the time that they pick. But that's the way it goes. And you can see that they are getting, or look like they're getting, very, very close now. Obviously down in the southern and northern hemispheres at the extreme degree angles, there's a little bit of map distortion. And you can see my trouble here. The wind is almost right behind me, whereas the guys to the north would be pretty much on a beam reach. And I've just congratulated Trails of Chaos for winning the race in 19 hours, 11 minutes and 37 seconds. Nice fella, and certainly got all of the things right. Picked the weather, picked the angles, and came in front of Mustard and Tangent, which is no small feat. I'm still battling with Rogers here. I still think I have a little chance, but because he's on a beam reach and I'm going to be on a run, it's going to be pretty hard for me to get him unless he makes a mistake. A little while later, and you can see Tangent is right near the finish line here. He's offline at the moment. It's very hard to catch somebody when you can't see them. And so Tangent took second place and Mustard took third place. So well done to those guys. You know, I can't blame Tangent. I shouldn't, and I'm not. It's, you know, people have to sleep when they have to sleep. It's just unfortunate that it was at that time. And Trouser Chaos was very nice to stay at the end and welcome everybody in. So that was very good as well. So 0.1 to the mark, 0.6 to the mark. So Tangent beat him by about 0.5 of a nautical mile, which is a pretty good run, especially as Tangent had gone off in search of mermaids at one stage. And at the end here, you can see that my friend Rogers had beaten me down to the mark. I'd been jibing quite extensively, just trying to keep a 155, 160 sort of angle, and I kept on having to jibe across here and there. Don't know whether it actually made me quicker or slower, but in the end that's what I decided to do. I was getting a little fidgety at this stage. And then the next day, after I'd passed the line, you can see the list of completions here. All the minis in front, obviously. Most of the northern beat the southern, that's for sure. Tovil came in really well in the Sailaway there. I believe he took the northern route as well. And at the time of making this, there was still a couple of people who haven't finished yet. So, thank you very much. Have a great day.